All right, let's talk about Quiet on the Set, the docuseries about Nickelodeon that aired episode 1 and 2 last night on the ID channel. So episode 1 basically gives all the Dan Schneider backstory. If you don't know who Dan Schneider is, please look him up. He created some of the best shows on Nickelodeon. All That, Kenan and Kel, The Amanda Show, iCarly, Sam and Cat. He did some other stuff too. So if you don't know, Dan Schneider actually got his big break in a small movie, something that took place in his hometown. He's originally from Memphis, Tennessee. And then I knew him because I'm 42. I grew up in the 80s. I knew him from the show Head of the Class, where he was basically the fat kid that was made fun of. Now, the reason I mention that is because when they start interviewing everybody that worked with him on at Nickelodeon Studios on the shows, it seemed that Dan Schneider liked to humiliate people, and he did it through his writing, with different skits, comments. I got to tell you, it was really sad to watch because it ruined my childhood a little bit. Because I was a Nickelodeon. I know there's like Nickelodeon, Disney. I was a Nickelodeon girl before Disney. I actually liked the programming better on Nickelodeon because it was kind of silly, and I'm a Gemini. I'm silly as hell, crazy too. But anyway, we ain't talking about me right now. They basically talked about the environment that he fostered, and he favored young girls, favored young white people in general, because a lot of the black cast members said that they definitely were used as like tokens. And he always had a new favorite. And basically, they introduced the whole Amanda Bynes situation in the first episode, and she was the favorite. There was something really weird that was said. They said that Amanda would disappear for hours at a time with Dan. Now, why is a grown man hanging out with an 8-year-old girl? As parents, why are you letting your 8-year-old child, especially a little girl, well, girl or boy, whatever, but why are you letting your 8-year-old keyword child hang out with a grown man alone? And it's so funny because they go back and they start discussing all of the inappropriate skits and shit I never even noticed. So Dan Schneider has a foot fetish. He likes to do cum shots with the kids, like different things. They showed a video of Ariana Grande when she was on her show, and she's trying to juice a potato and she's holding it like a penis. It was weird. Very weird. Very, very weird. Her laying upside down, hanging off the bed, pouring water on her neck. Like, what is the point of that? We get into when Amanda gets her own show, and her and Dan Schneider are clearly a lot closer. They said physically closer too. They interviewed 2 women who were the female writers on the Amanda Show. So Dan Schneider didn't like women. I mean, he likes women, but he don't like women. He definitely doesn't think that we're equal. So he basically told the 2 female writers on the show, you guys are going to get paid one salary. Your salary will be split. Wow. I actually had that happen to me on my first writing experience, professional writing experience. And I didn't know at the time that was illegal. At one point, one of the women said they're in the writer's room, and he was like, do you mind if I call you guys the girls? Like, hey, are the girls in the room? Are they ready? And they were like, yeah. And he was like, oh, thank God, because I don't like women who get upset about stuff like that. So the lady said she knew then that she had to be careful with answers that she gave him because he had a lot of power. And just from all the stories and everything that was said, this man exercised his power and let you know that he was in charge. He let you know who was his favorite. He liked to humiliate people. And I feel like, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think Dan Schneider, growing up a not attractive man, he's overweight, goofy looking, and then for him to get his first big break on TV, he basically plays the fat guy in class. And I think that probably got to him because he chose to humiliate others as much as he could via his, writing scripts, the way he would talk to people in the writer's room. It was It's disgusting how Hollywood caters to that type of personality, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of Dan Schneiders. And I don't know if he's ever molested anybody, but I think he's had some inappropriate relationships with people. I still think they haven't gotten to Jamie Lynn Spears yet, because we're only on 2 episodes, but I'm waiting for that. Episode 2 focused more on how Dan became maniacal and mean. They talked about the later seasons of all that. They talked about Amanda Bynes wanting to emancipate from her parents, and Dan Schneider was the one who spearheaded that whole situation, even went to court with her just for her to lose. Something definitely happened to Amanda Bynes, because for her to be the way that she is now, out of the clear blue air, something happened to her. She saw something, she experienced something. And it's sad that they couldn't interview her, because I'm sure she's not going to talk about that. It was a lot. They talked about this child molester on the set. They actually interviewed a woman whose daughter was who had guest starred on a couple episodes of, I think, The Amanda Show and all that. This guy was a PA, sending her inappropriate shit, emails, sent her naked photos of himself talking about, I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you. Like, what? He ends up getting caught and has child prawn, I say that for a reason, all over his computer. They found like thousands of little baggies of tokens of little girls. He had a journal talking about what he did. It's creepy. I'm looking forward to the further episodes. I definitely can't wait till they interview Drake Bell from Drake and Josh. That's going to be interesting, because the next episode they're going to discuss Brian Peck, who was a known pedophile. If you're not watching Quiet on the Set, please watch it. It's really good. And if you're somebody who wants to get your child into Hollywood, you might want to watch this. I used to be in Hollywood. I used to work at a talent agency. The parents don't have a fucking half of a clue of what's going on with their kids. They don't. Fame ain't everything, baby. It ain't.